this is Taylor Tatiana, and this is the Just Keep Lashing podcast. So today is episode 1. We're going to start talking about how I got started in the lash industry. So a little background about me. I have 5 sisters. My mom has 6 girls, and we all grew up in San Francisco. When I was younger, I always said, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have money. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I just knew that I was going to do it. So August 2019, one day I was getting my lashes done, and my lash artist, she was like, you should do lashes. And I was like, yeah, girl, whatever. And every single time I went to her to get my lashes done by her, she was encouraging. It's like, you should do lashes. And I never thought anything of it until one day I was just thinking, I wonder how she puts the lash extensions on. So I got on YouTube and I typed in how to do lash extensions. A video popped up. It looks super fucking easy. So I ordered a kit from Amazon. It shipped to my home and it was terrible. But I used literally the last little bit of money that I had. So I text every single dude in my phone. I was like, hey, can I have some money? Because I need to start this lash business. And if they told me no, I immediately blocked them. So I want to say I was talking to 6 guys at the time and I asked them for money. And I think 4 out of 6 sent the money. So I took that money. I got on Amazon and I ordered more supplies and I started practicing. I got my mom, I got my sister, my other sister, and I just started lashing them. And it took me 6 to 10 hours each set. It was so discouraging and it was literally so hard. Come to find out, I was doing it literally all wrong. So I had to go back on YouTube and figure out exactly what I was doing wrong. One thing about me, when I started my lash journey, I practiced whenever and wherever I could. I was working a job at the time at this startup, working help desk, and there used to be a slow period during work. So I used to bring in my lash supplies and practice. And my coworkers would laugh at me oh my God, what are you doing? I'm I'm going to do lashes. They're like, Taylor, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, girl, for real. And I'll be my coworker's name, her name was Diana. I was like, Diana, can I practice on you? She was like, no, girl, I'm not letting anybody play with my eyes. I asked all my coworkers. They all laughed at me. They didn't take me serious. And honestly, it was super, super discouraging. But one day my coworker, she was like, my cousin said you can practice on her. So she gave me her cousin's number and I went to her house and I did her lashes and they actually came out very good. And then my friend asked me to do her lashes. So I did her lashes. They came out good. So now I have my mom, I have my sister, and then my sister's friend asked me to do her lashes. And then I had my coworker. Eventually, my other friend asked me to do her lashes. I did her lashes, and then her auntie asked me to do her lashes. And now all of a sudden, I was doing all my friends and all my family's lashes. I started doing my first real client. I basically told her I'm only charge you $60. And since I'm not that good, I take hella long. I'm only going to charge you $60. And as long as you remain a loyal customer to me, I'll just keep it at $60. So every single time I did her lashes, I got better. But the issue was when I started lashing, I was using pre-made fans from Amazon. They were too heavy. So the lashes didn't last. But I didn't really have money for a lash course. I couldn't make a fan to save my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to save money for lash course. At the time, lash courses were $900, $1,500. I found the girl that I wanted to go with, but I just didn't have the money at the time. I was living check to check. I was driving a beat up car. I was living with my mom and I couldn't lash in her house. So I was a mobile lash artist. I went to people's houses to do lashes. Fast forward to March of 2020, COVID hit and they literally laid every single person off from my job. And I was like, fuck, what am I going to do now? And I just decided I'm just going to take this seriously. I have nothing but time. So I remember a few months back prior to COVID hitting, I had ran into a coworker at a bar and we were drinking. She's like, yeah. And I told her I'm practicing lashes. She's like, yeah, let me teach you. I only charge you $200. But I didn't even have $200 to even take a course because I just didn't have it. I was a new mom and it's just very expensive. I have to commute to work. I have a daughter. Child support wasn't really doing anything for me. So I was like, when I get really good, I'll come work for you. So I got better. And when COVID hit, I was like, I'm finna ask to work in her salon. So I went and asked her, and I was like, hey, like, I'm better at lashes now. This is my work. Can I work in your salon? And she was like, seriously, so hesitant. Because, all of the salons were shut down in Oakland. And if you were lashing, you were doing it under the table. Everybody was like boarding up their windows to make it look like they weren't working. So she was like, no, like the shop is closed down. And I just kept begging her. And eventually she was like, yeah, okay, you can work here. And I started running like the little Facebook and Instagram ads. I was doing $100 sets, and everybody was coming in because everybody was getting like the unemployment insurance. They were giving $600 per week on top of what you were already getting. So everybody had the money. Nobody even cared that it was $100. A lot of my clients didn't even ask how much I was charging. They were only coming because they seen like the ad on Instagram. So as my clientele started building up, and I eventually had enough money to take a course. So I took that money. The course was $900. I drove all the way down to LA with my 2 cousins and my daughter. And I brought my cousins so they could watch my daughter while I took the course. And so I took the course, and I really only took it to learn how to make fans. Which I learned. It was really like a very groundbreaking experience for me. And of course I didn't like leave the class with the confidence, but what I started doing was I started doing my sets with half pre-mades and half handmade fans. And eventually I was able to do all of my sets with handmade fans and get my sets done in 2 hours. Now, the months were passing by, and I was getting more popular in the area, and I noticed like there was like secret animosity, jealousy coming from like the salon owner. And she was like very hostile with me when I was taking clients, and I realized like, hey, I can't, be in this salon forever because the tension was literally rising. It was her and her daughter. And then there was another girl who worked in the salon as well. Eventually, we got into a heated argument. We made up, but I just realized, like, this isn't for me. One day I went to the salon to go work on a client, and the salon was locked. I reached out to her, and she was like, yeah, we're closed due to COVID, but we're having a meeting on X day or whatever. So on the day of the meeting, I go there. She wasn't there. I was waiting for her for like heck long. And she finally opens the salon, but little did she know I was like moving my stuff out. While I was moving my stuff out, she was like, you're just going to leave? And I was like, yeah, this just isn't the best fit for me. And she was like super aggressive trying to fight me, but I held my ground. I wasn't very aggressive with her. I just continued packing my stuff, and I left. And I was just like, damn, like, what am I going to do now? But me as an entrepreneur, I'm not going to complain about the problem. I'm always going to look for a solution. So I was in a relationship at the time, and my boyfriend was just like, just do lashes at the house. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. So I literally just started lashing at home. And at the salon, we had recliners, and I didn't have a recliner. So I was literally lashing my clients on the couch. Super uncomfortable, but eventually I got a lash chair. He put it together. He put literally all my lash stuff together, and I was, just very grateful for that. Eventually, they cut off the unemployment insurance, and my clientele came to a halt. Like, I didn't have any clients, and eventually I couldn't even afford Christmas for my daughter, which was very heartbreaking for me. But before that happened, in October of 2020, the app called Clubhouse came out. And so when it started, there was nothing but like business professionals on there. And although other people were like running rooms about irrelevant stuff and just being very childish, I was sitting up in the room getting like free game from business owners and getting marketing tips. And eventually I started investing in marketing, and they were talking about building email lists, how to go viral, how to get hella clientele. So I literally started soaking up all that game. And eventually, I just realized like all I have to do is keep at it and stay at it every day, and eventually I'll get there. So December of 2020, I made a TikTok account, and I was just posting. And after 15 posts, my video on TikTok went viral. I got 1 million views, and like the followers just started coming in. So I took what, I was doing on TikTok, started doing on Instagram as well. And every single day I was gaining hundreds and sometimes even thousands of followers every single day. I decided like I was just going to post reels. So eventually on Clubhouse, I created my own lash community, and basically everybody was like, "Wait, your page was just at 3,000 followers yesterday. It's at 5,000 followers a day. How did you do that?" And I was like, it's just really easy. You just have to be consistent, post videos, post tips, caption, your content a certain way. So they're like, "Can you teach us?" So I came out with a marketing course and I started selling it on Clubhouse, on Instagram, and I took 10 girls and I only charged them like $100 to help them market their business. And I was really seeing like, wow, like my method works. So I came out with a marketing course. I started selling my lash course, and I was like, build my community. I mean, it wasn't built overnight, but people, like, my page was literally growing overnight. 1 minute I had 5,000 followers. The next day I had 10,000, then 15,000, then 20,000, then 22,000. And it literally was growing out so fast. And it was because Instagram had this new thing at the time called Reels, and nobody was really doing them. So I was like literally posting 3 Reels per day, every single day, going live on Instagram, going live on TikTok, posting on TikTok 3 times per day. I posted at 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. faithfully, no days off. And my page was literally growing up overnight. And then my audience was literally just begging me, like, "Can you come out with lash products? Do you have lash kits?" So I started doing my research and eventually came out with lash products, and those were a hit since my audience was already built. Eventually, one day, I got on TikTok and I decided to put my lash course on sale. It was normally $50, and I decided to put it on sale for, I think, $10. And I got on TikTok live, and in 1 hour, I think I made like $1,000, right? So I was like really shocked at like how fast I was able to make that money. And I sat on TikTok live for 10 hours and I got up to 3,000 views at one point in time. And in one day, after sitting on TikTok live for 10 hours, I made $18,000. And that's when I realized, like, I could really, really take it this far. So fast forward to today, I think I have like 230,000 followers on TikTok and about like 53,000 on Instagram. And it all started because I just kept lashing.